7 o'clock, a very good morning to you. It's the 31st of October. Thanks so much for choosing Morning Live. Let's get into our news bulletin now. Western Cape Local Government Minister Cape Anton Bredell says he will call a meeting today to decide whether to declare Knysna and George disaster areas following Veld fires. Around 48,000 hectares of land have been damaged by the fire and 8 lives have been lost. Firefighters have managed to control the fire in the Storms River area after winds died down. The Veld fires, fanned by strong winds, resulted in evacuations in some parts of the region. Aerial support, including 2 Huey helicopters, 2 fixed-wing bombers and the SANDF Oryx helicopter are being used to put out the fires. The Western Cape Social Development Minister Albert Fritz has committed his department's support for the families of the fire victims and the broader community. Meanwhile, all roads leading into the region have now been reopened. For the latest developments, we cross live to our reporter in George, Vanessa Puna. Vanessa, again, a very good morning to you. So I see that you're stationed inside. Let's find out firstly where you are, and secondly, give us an update on the situation.
Yes, good morning, Julianne. I am inside the Joint Operations Centre here in George, and of course the authorities are telling us this morning that they are very satisfied, and today seems to be much better than the fire has been over the past few days. Now, joining me is the Head of Disaster Management here in the Garden District Municipality, Gerard Otto. Mr. Otto, good morning to you. You looked somewhat relieved this morning. Can you give us an update with regards to how this fire has been contained? You mentioned early on that at the moment you're satisfied with the efforts to contain this fire.
Yes, definitely. At this point in time, it looks much better. The fire has been contained of most of the lines. There's still 2 active lines, the one on the east as well as the one on the west. The one on the east at the back of the Vlucht is still in the mountains, but it's not posing a threat to any of the communities there in that area. The areas to the south of that, Karata, Renendal, yesterday, that was under threat. The fire has moved past that areas. It was quite a logistical nightmare yesterday to try and evacuate 6,000 people from Renendal. Fortunately, that was placed on hold, and the fire moved past in that area. As I've mentioned, the fire is still moving on both sides, and on the western side, we will be monitoring it as well in the Jonkersberg mountain. Around this fire, there's about 578 people, and they're all doing mopping up operations. There is still some fire on inside areas, and there's some smoke in the area. The wind is blowing away from the town of George, so the smoke is not in the town. It looks much better. I must say I'm very positive, but we will stay at high alert, and we'll do mopping up right around this fire for the next couple of days, because as I've said, there's 2 active lines still, but there's mostly around the towns it's been contained, and we're happy with the situation at this point in time.
And at this stage, if I can just clarify, you don't foresee any further evictions happening, or rather evacuations happening, in terms of areas such as Renendal and yeah?
No, we're not foreseeing. The area where it's burning now, it's mostly indigenous forest and old veld. It needs to burn also at some time. And we're fortunate, the areas to the south is where the previous burns was around Knysna. So there's an open area there. We don't feel there's any threat to those areas, even if the wind had to change. The predominant wind direction is in our favor, keeping it in the mountain for at least the next 3-4 days. So we are really confident that for now, this fire, with the areas where it is, we will not have any evacuations being done.
Thank you very much, Leanne. Of course, speaking to me there, Mr. Gerard Otto, the Head of Disaster Management here in the Garden Route District Municipality, saying that today they are upbeat about having contained most of these fires. The threat moving away from residential areas at this moment in time, and of course still burning, but high up in the mountains.
All right, Vanessa, thanks very much for the update. We'll continue to cross to you and monitor what's going on. But Western